Me. Generals gathered in their masses. Get out of the ways.
Hello and welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber and this is a sparkly necklace. I got it at Meijer and it was $10 and it really just churches up the place. We've got so much to talk about today. I'm going to make sure the audio is working properly because I am eternally spooked. Okay, it's at least on. It's at least on. We're going to check here in a second. I recorded a video earlier today because I was completing the loop on what I started last week, and I wanted to show the progress I'd made in editing and creating a video just for it to be muted. So we have a few adjustments to our microphone setup. If anyone's, hi mom, if anyone's interested, on this microphone, there's a green dot here. If I press the green dot, if you press the green dot again, the red dot, it becomes not muted. And the problem is every time, the way that this is shaped, it's very easy to touch the button and not freaking know that it is pressed. Okay. Audio's good. Oh my gosh, Eric, thank you so much for joining. We've got a lot to cover today. So, if you are familiar with Office Hours with Amber and this kind of program generally, I started Office Hours with Amber in the beginning of 2025 to help myself, hold myself accountable to learning something new in Excel each month and catch up and kind of be able to decrease the gap in my skills between the people I highly respected in the Excel community. That went swimmingly. Each week there was a different goal. So each month there was a topic. And then week 1 would be Google, YouTube, ChatGPT, whatever, to learn the concept. Week 2 would be applying that concept to whatever work problem I was having and applying it to the real world. Week 3 was getting feedback from a professional or someone who knew more about that topic than me. And week 4 was the community call where we brought everyone together. It was pretty successful. Each week I knew exactly what I was doing or exactly where I was going. I didn't know the answer, but pretty much my year was planned out. Fast forward to December. Now I'm floundering because I have all these things in my backlog of good ideas and I have things I want to do and my brain was circling and I was so burnt out by the end of the year. I took a vacation and I came back and I was still empty in my brain. So it really took until mid-February for me to get Office Hours with Amber Season 2 going, which is Engineering Improv. And that is what we're doing here. We're about 12 weeks into Engineering Improv, and there's some things that are going really well, and there's some things that are not going so well. And so that's where today I'm using this hour to kind of dissect and kind of show more so the process of doing a self-assessment, kind of an objective self-assessment, a judgment-free, this is what's working, this is what isn't, and is it accomplishing the goal I actually set out to accomplish? And realistically, this year, I wanted to build more business systems to help me become a better business person, but also what I find is it's hard in business, you need to sell things. And I have a trouble being a systems engineer, selling my service when my systems aren't even feel close to even relevantly good. And that might be a little bit of the perfectionist brain, and that's a whole separate side story. But what I want to do is if I want you to go into your own mind right now. If there's something that you've been working so hard at, or rather, just ask yourself some questions of, do you feel like you're working so hard but not really getting anywhere? Or do you feel like you're putting your whole energy into things? Or maybe if you're like me, you just came out of a very depressive period of time where you didn't have the energy to designate towards these things. Like I truly just getting out of bed, brushing my teeth, and answering an email took it clear out of me. And so the wise words of Donna Johnson, Donna MJ69 in the chat, if you will. On Friday, we had a nice chat, and she was talking about sometimes you just need someone to, like, if you are just so wound up on yourself, you need someone to just wiggle it a little bit, just so you can, loosen the constraints just a little bit. And she's going to say it much more eloquently here shortly. But sometimes you need an external third party to come in, loosen it just a little bit, so you can wiggle your way out of whatever the problem is. So I hope that this hour is a little bit of the mental wiggle to see the systems engineer working on her business systems also wound herself up into the tight little ball of like working so hard but not getting anywhere. So no one is immune to completely winding up on yourself, and anxiety, it just eats away at your own ability, your self-doubt. Like it just breeds self-doubt in your brain. So we're going to take a deep breath. And I know you didn't actually do the deep breath with me, so I'm going to do it again. And I heard from like a yoga teacher that it's important to like actually like kind of like make noise when you exhale. Apparently it's good for some sort of something. But anyways, the first step is just taking a fucking deep breath, because one, is your world going to cave in the next 5 minutes? Probably not. So you have at least 5 minutes to go to YouTube, look up a meditation, like a little, like I love the guided meditation and then whatever you're looking for. So I do guided meditation, abundance on YouTube. And then you find a voice that doesn't make you cringe and you listen to it, you close your eyes and you remember, we're all specks of dirt on this giant planet that we all live on. So first things first, I'm the realist. Button's not working. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Second, today I will be assessing the differences between the program that I'm running now versus what's working, what's not working, and then not reinventing the wheel. Last year was so beyond successful, and I was able to continue growing, and I felt like every month I was talking to such interesting people. And right now, engineering improv feels like this wild machete through the forest each week where I pick something and then I'm starting so many projects, but I'm not finishing any of them. So we're going to cherry pick all the best stuff from Amber last year. And then also a funny thing is to kind of lean back on my own teachings. And it's hilarious that nobody talks about taking your own advice. So at the Excel conference, I made these flyers, which I should probably put on my website. But anyways, so with ADHD and growing, I created like a hypothesized equation for growth that equals value, accountability, novelty, capacity, divided by fear. Divided by fear is new, and I call it hypothesized because I keep learning more things. So what I did is I kind of emulated the Office Hours with Amber program, but I broke it down into every time. I kind of did inventory last year of every time I was feeling friction and I wasn't able to grow, what was the root source of the friction? And so it came down into these 4 categories: value, accountability, novelty, capacity. And I have these little self-assessments. They're so cute. And I work so hard on them and I love it. I don't know if this is actually pointed the right way. I hope it is. But the accountability section makes me laugh. But anyways, what I'm finding is this whole year, I don't know what part of the neurodivergent brain said, all of that stuff you learned last year doesn't apply to us anymore. I can't be bothered. And what I realized is I needed to start asking myself the questions in just a little bit different of a way. So for instance, this Saturday, well, actually most of the thoughts that are coming right now are the byproduct of me carpet cleaning my apartment. Because that is like 3 hours of just focused brain where you have enough time. It's like the quietest part of your brain because you're focused on a task. That took me clear out. I went to bed at 8 p.m. It was horrific. This story is so nonlinear. I apologize. Anyways, in the meantime, while I'm yammering, let me know if there's something that you've been feeling like you've been working so hard at and not seeing progress. Or flip it around. If there's something you've been working hard at and have been seeing progress, let me know in the comments. But what I found is there was a task that I've been tasked with on Friday. And it's a task I've done before. It's a task that really, like, if you know anything about me, or if you're very similar, I'm great at the first 80% of the project because that's tinkering and figuring it out and, getting to the answer. You're like, everything is, you just get, like, you make it right, but you don't make it fast and you don't make it like super clean and wrapped up. Like, I'm great at the first 80%, because that's where my creative brain gets to just really dig into a problem. The last 20% is the documentation, the training, and maybe like past training. It's like all of the little nuanced differences, like the little teeny tiny details, not for me. And so I was doing a task on Friday and I was finding so much resistance in my body. I was like, why can't, like, truly, I'll sit at my computer. I'll just stare all day long. And I went as far to look into my psyche of why can't I just do this? Completely forgetting this existed. And I rerouted my entire, like we talked about it a few weeks ago, but I was talking about how I recategorize my tasks, which I'm going to show you just briefly. So we talked about the idea of float, orbit, reentry, mission control, and fire. And really how that kind of comes together is fire is tasks that are deeply impactful that people are involved in, and there's a real consequence of my lack of action. Mission control is things that have to keep happening to make sure that the flight, my business, the space shuttle, stays in flight. So, for instance, mission control is like billing, hour keeping, sales prospecting, routine things that are very repeatable. Orbit is the thoughts that orbit my mind all the time. It's the shower thoughts. It's the like keeps you up at night thoughts. It's the that could be cool if thoughts. And this is where a lot of things live in my world. And I'm just constantly thinking and tinkering and looking for inspiration everywhere I look. Float is easy tasks that I can do, like editing a video. I love it. Like, I love like building something in Canva or making a video or like chatting with friends. Float, easy. Reentry is where we bring orbit down to earth. And we're improving processes, we're building things. It's this requires a lot of very specific, meticulous detail where you have to build things, but it's not repeatable like mission control. Now, this sounds crazy when the task was to build a PowerPoint. And I'm dissecting my value structures and how I interact with tasks and all of that. The metacognition to think about my thinking, I almost pre-diagnosed myself with OCD. I was like, why can't I just do this? And just and should and just are just shame indicators. And I was like, I don't have another word. I feel like I should just be able to do this. And I don't know how often you guys feel that there's moments in your day where you're just like, I should just be able to do this. So I called my mom. So step number one, if you're having a lot of problems, or if you're feeling very like wound up tight on your own thoughts, call your mom. If you don't have a mom, I offer mine. She's great. So anyways, Friday, I'm thinking about, I'm really working through like all of the sub things. And what I found is there's no novelty in redoing a task. And what I realized is, I had built this before and I remembered how much work it was to do it the first time. And with this kind of task, it requires it's like a financial model and a PowerPoint. And it requires a lot of detail. And because it's already in a high pressure situation, I was just beside myself. But that's when I realized, wait, novelty is one of the aspects. So what I could have done if I would have stopped, dropped, and rolled and looked into fear and taken the perfectionism off of and the pressure off of that task, that would have saved me a little bit of time. Second, if I would have taken used shapeshifter and aesthetic curator, which is what I ended up doing, the shapeshifter, a common method I use. My mom's office hours are 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. So let her know. She's great. So I spent 2 days ruminating on why can't I just do this? And then I leaned back into what worked. So this is a long way to say sometimes you have, the important part, if you have any sort of neurodivergence, is write down the things that work for you and put it somewhere this was in my desk when I was trying to rethink, put it on a big whiteboard. And that's where I'm working on this other tool called an owner's manual. Truly, I am a robot and you just need to open the page on task initiation. Okay, what are the steps if you see these kinds of habits or if you see these kinds of trigger warnings? The machine needs a little bit of preventative, a little bit of maintenance. And here is the how to fix that. So long story short, go back to basics: value, accountability, novelty, capacity. Because my capacity, I hadn't been doing anything for multiple days. Accountability, I had a lot of people that are really relying on me doing this task. Value, this task I'm doing is highly valuable. But those three compounded created fear because there's so much pressure on it. It created this inanimate amount of fear. But some weird things that I've been doing to help with that is the other day I just said, I'm not behind. You can just tell yourself that you're not behind, because whether you're lying to yourself or not, if you just say, oh no, I'm not behind, as long if you're using it in a strategic way to just take that little bit of pressure, like my mom said, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room just to get out of the straitjacket you've put yourself in. Similarly, fear aside, perfectionism aside, you can edit a page that is filled out. You cannot edit a blank page. So what I started then, the thing that actually got me started on this PowerPoint, and what I realized is the first time I made it in Canva. Canva does not translate to PowerPoint well because the fonts don't translate, the pictures don't translate. It just is so jerky. So I knew this time around making this PowerPoint, I was going to have to do it in PowerPoint. But all the PowerPoint templates are so ugly. So then I was like, how do I even make it cute? But then I realized, wait, that's so fun. Why are we upset and why are we so nervous about making something nice? That is the aesthetic curator. Curate the vibe. Just give yourself a little bit of joy in it. Like someone said, whistle while you work. Make it cute. Make it, you have an opportunity to make something new. Use the creative brain. Why are you so upset about it? You prayed for the day that you'd be doing this. So why are you so stressed? So anyways, lean back into the things that are working. Additionally, shape-shifting into someone who finds the stuff easy. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to pretend to be a graphic designer. So then if an engineer is looking at fonts for an hour and a half, you feel like, why are you wasting all that time? But if a graphic designer looks at fonts for an hour and a half, you're like, wow, they're really dedicated to their job. Shapeshift, curate an aesthetic. That's all I got to say about it. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to be in the next few weeks leaning back into these things. It's just crazy how fucking right December Amber was for April, almost May Amber. I digress. Okay. So today, getting to the actual point. So another thing that is in the thumbnail is I didn't get here by accident. So if you're watching, I'd love to hear, what kind of connotation does I didn't get here by accident give you? Positive or negative? Matt, sick necklace. I need to get back to lists and checklists, checking off those items, adding more things onto the list, missing tasks. I love a to-do list. I love it. Also, thank you. I got it from Meyer. It was $10. So if I was to say, or you're to say, I didn't get here by accident, does that make you feel positive or negative? I think lately I've been in the middle. pretty desperately in the middle. I think there's parts of my brain. Jody said positive. Wonderful. That's great to hear. I'm very happy for you. Eric, positive. That's good. I have been feeling it kind of both ways. The positive part is I've worked for this. I've gotten myself here. But when you're in the middle of kind of a dog pile mess, you also didn't get here by accident. There's choices that you made along the way that got you to this point. But by observing what were those decisions that were made in certain time periods that positively or negatively got you right to this moment? What did the universe do? What did this do? Like, what are the aspects that brought you to here? And so that's where it's kind of a moment of accountability of, one, celebrate, here's all this great stuff that I did, and I should really be blessed that younger me work so hard, so me currently can work hard, so future me has a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. But coming out of a 3-month depressive fit, I mean, it's not shocking that my sales aren't where I want them to be. I didn't get here by accident. I wasn't doing my prospecting activities for the last 3 months, so I don't have prospects. That's a consequence of the state I was in. Now I can sit here and I can be upset and I can be like scared and I can be nervous, or we can take a deep breath. There's only what I can do today. So today's quarterly assessment, we're going to be assessing what positive things have I done to get myself to here. Because if we, like Matt and I were talking before the call, I've done this about 60 weeks in a row. Wait a minute. 52 plus 12. Well, we're almost at the end of the 4th month. 16 minus 1. 67. Oh gosh. This is the 67th week of me doing this. So the only reason that my stream looks this crisp quality, that my audio is working properly, that the video isn't tweaking out, is because of the actions I've done to get here. The only reason that I can talk for an hour seamlessly without being nervous is because I've practiced for this. Now, the negatives is I don't know how to drive engagement. I don't know how to gain subscribers meaningfully. I don't know how to translate this to a sale. There's a lot of still things that I don't quite know. So in terms of looking at getting here, I didn't get here by accident. 6, 7, yeah. Okay, anyways, so the goal of today is I want to leave with a plan for the future, for the next quarter of what am I going to do to achieve the goal? What is the goal? You might ask. I feel like we need the goal. So realistically, my goal is to live a financially stable life. And in this economy, a little difficult. But what I find is, and also I want to solve big problems and I want to help organizations. I want to help more people do more with less. And I'm feeling a little bit disconnected from self because I feel like I'm not helping enough people, or everything I do just doesn't help correctly. And so in order for me to help more people, I have to have access to more problems to solve. And so in this moment, basically the goal for the year is I want to solve more problems. And that sounds crazy, but realistically, I want to help more people. How do I help more people? Dive in. I need to talk to more people. How do I talk to more people? How do I create the business, the sales pipeline? Regardless. Now we're going to follow that thread. We're going to write this out. Okay, let's go to the monitor. Positives, negatives. I don't want to dwell too far on that. Okay. Let's scroll this way. Also, don't you just love this picture? This has got my fire, my mission control, orbit, reentry, and float. So cute. I'm going to print it out and put it on my wall, and I encourage you all to do the same. Whoa, where'd it go? There we go. Problem is, if you don't actually know what your goal is, it's kind of hard to steer towards it. But realistically, the goal is to this seems silly, but I want to be financially stable while helping more people through, not while, through helping more people with systems and data. That's the thing, is a well-defined problem is half solved, and I've been ideating on what is the exact perfect goal statement. And realistically, to be able to confidently help more people, I need to be financially, like, it's kind of like put your air mask on before you help others. One thing, let's take this. I want to like, also this font's a little crazy. Whoa. Yikes. We need like a normal one. Sure. Okay. Oh. I want to like, we need arrows. Arrow. It's like a cute one. There we go. Let's do red. Cute, 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 cute. Oh my gosh. Relax. Okay. Digging in to this. What they basically like, if you're unfamiliar with the 5Y game, not game, 5Y, root cause analysis. I don't want a video. Basically, you just keep asking yourself why until you get close enough to the root cause. And sometimes you might think you're done, but actually there's even deeper, 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 much more of the iceberg. But sometimes you get stuck in the middle and you're like, oh, I'm going to solve this problem that's in the middle. Wasn't the problem. So let's see. La 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 la. What is something that you guys are working on? What's the project of the week? What are the vibes? So what's happening? I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. No, I'm just gonna keep going. Let's group, and again. Okay. The first thing that's preventing between me and achieving my goal is I'm not having enough new projects and leads turning over. Why? Not doing my sales prospecting activities. Ooh, building a dynamic navigation control panel in Excel. That's cool. What are the primary functions and tools? VBA? Like what kind of methods are you doing with that? Who's the audience? Who's using it? Not doing my sales prospecting activities. And it's important not to just answer all of them in the same one. It's like really dive into one at a time. Yeah, I know. Eric's got a big one this week. Supposed to be gardening, but it's raining most of my time off. I know, the rain's been crazy. I just did some things on my back porch, and first of all, my house is finally put together. So, in the Artist Way program, there's a part where it kind of, one of the tasks this week was talking about kind of like what are small tweaks to your environment that you can make to encourage creativity and encourage art. And I went a little crazy. Like it kind of just came out of me before this even prompted from the book. But we've got the thinking wall, behind me, and I'm going to be filling out on a live stream the big ass calendar once I sort out my goals and problems. And then this, my dad helped me install. It's got a wheel, like a roll of paper, and then you can just pull it down. So at the end of the year, I'm going to unravel this, basically a giant scroll of everything I've thought of for the last year. And then I'm going to be doing some of their cute stuff there. But that's that, and a second workstation so I can have more people bodied up with me. Huge. Additionally, I made my back porch scenic and nice so that I can work out there. So I got a like dining room height table, real skinny, and then I got a chair that matches height so I can actually work outside. All I need is an umbrella. We're close. I don't think anybody asked for those details, but too late. It's my live stream. Okay, back on subject. Okay, not doing my sales prospecting activities. Why? The easy thing to say was depressed. Well, why did I build a business system that didn't weather the storm for depression? And I know that sounds crazy. Arrow. Oh, man. And so I'm going to say it like this is, how do I make, yeah. So the question I have, so there's a few whys that are going to come out of this. No VBA, Power Query formulas, advanced hyperlink usage. Ooh, cool. If you're eventually interested and want to do, because what I also want to do with this is eventually I want to get back into having people show the cool stuff that they're working on. So pending, there's like a little side opportunity if you want to show it on a live stream sometime, or if you want to be interviewed about it, let me know. Okay, so there is idea of a mood menu. Haley Honeyman. She is an ADHD creator, and she has this kind of like movement menu, you could call it, basically for like low energy days, mid energy days, high energy days. It's kind of similar to the spoons theory, but all basically, if you look at this, it's talking about self-care activities. On a high energy day, you could shower, full skincare routine, makeup, and this and this and this. But at minimum, on your lowest energy days, you're getting out of bed, you're avoiding the phone, taking your supplements, drinking water. So she has pre-written tasks that no matter what level her energy is, she's at least getting some sort of self-care in. And so similarly with my business is maybe on my best days, I could be going to trade shows and cold emailing, cold calling, and shadowing and doing all this stuff. But maybe on the low weeks, I at least have my minimum viable, hey, I'm going to reach out to the fast five warm leads and just ask how they're doing. Or maybe I'm only going to go to one event this month. This is where I need to build around my neurodivergence and my depression and anxiety of like, okay, even on my lowest days, I'm going to get out of bed and I'm going to brush my teeth. And that is something that I've been working on with my habit tracker, which I'm going to do a small little view of that because I love it since Finch has been gone. Eric said, sure, love to get feedback. Trying to narrow down the descriptions and naming conventions to things majority can follow. Oh, bless. That is tough because we speak a language that not many speak. And then when I try to think of speaking in my client's language or speaking in the language of who, like the other person's language, then I find myself just backwards on myself. I'm like, am I having a stroke? So that is a real art form that nobody talks about. Nope, not on mute. Okay, I have to show shit. I was looking for something. You just watched the train, the thought train right out. What was I talking about? Low energy days, sales prospecting. I could go back and watch my own stream to see in the chat. If you know where I was going with that last point, let me know. Otherwise, it's gone forever. Habit tracker. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's crazy. Okay. So it's quite literally just called habit tracker. And the primary app kind of looks like this. And what you'll see is logging my hours, categorizing spend, walking Banjo to the mailbox. And the thing about this is, I'm not saying go on a walk with Banjo. Banjo's my dog. I'm saying walk Banjo to the mailbox. My habit tracker shows the minimum viable, energetic, reasonably appropriate task I can do in a day. Because some days I am so miserably overwhelmed by the idea of, okay, well, I have to get the fanny pack on. I have to put treats in it to make sure that I'm enforcing good behaviors and the dog, the dog poop bags, so that I make sure I'm a good friendly neighbor. And I need to make sure that I have my phone on me, and I need to like have my keys. And I need to do this, and I have to make sure the harness is on. And whoa, walking to the mailbox, you take one treat, one doggy bag. You walk there, you walk back, let him sniff a few things. He got outside. And so that's what I'm talking about, putting on your task list, the absolute minimum that you could possibly expect of yourself. And there's some days that I don't do it, and that's okay. Sometimes it's not going to happen. But what I like about the habit tracker, the habit tracker is that you can also do, like half tasks. So you can do like, I want to drink 3 bottles of water a day, or, well, 2. Every time I press the plus sign, there's a little dopamine vibration. And then you, it's not like you have to have 2 goals. And I know this is a small thing, but it's so fucking annoying to get into a habit tracker and then it's either did or did not do. It's not did partially. And so what I like about the habit tracker app is that it rewards partial completion, which is great. You can also look at your like month and you can see your success rate, which I'm trying to like make that. I wonder if I do this. You can kind of see it. Maybe I need to turn the brightness down here. Anyways, you can see your percentages over time, and then you can also change your widgets. But anyways, what I'm saying is tracking your minimum viable so that you feel good. And then if you want to go above and beyond, girl, go above and beyond. No one's stopping you, but having reminding yourself of what your minimum necessary thing, mission control tasks to get you remaining in orbit is important. Okay, back on subject. Okay. We can say depressed, but that I don't want to call that like a it's easy in the middle of emotional moments to let that dictate the way you show up with work. And I love Layla Hermosi, but I don't completely love the fuck your mood, follow the plan. Because what if you made a dog shit plan? Maybe you made a completely infeasible plan. So incentivize, but what I like about the sentiment of what she's saying is it doesn't matter how you're feeling. It should be, what are the minimum, like just follow your, like you owe it to yourself to build trust with yourself to continue on the plan. But what I've found, and now we're coming full circle right back here, which we'll get to soon, is with engineering improv, I can't plan for when things are going to be executed. Okay, we're going to continue with the 5 why. The last 10 minutes I'm doing the other part of this, but okay. The other part of not doing my sales prospecting activities, depression, but then additionally, not confident in my own systems to support the influx of sales. Improve. Improv to improve. So what I've talked about with some others is if you were to flip the switch and get all the sales that you ever wanted, would you have the bones to support that? So if I got 10 new clients today, I don't have my statement of work draft, like my statement of work templates. I don't have clear, succinct pricing for everything. There's so many gray areas, and that's where the beginning of engineering improv came from. Is there's so many questions that need to be answered, but it is so easy to hide behind working for like doing tasks for others and never focusing on my own systems, because I would much rather improve someone else's systems than have to live within my own, which is the point of this whole live stream series. Is I have to face the fear of being like building depression proof systems, because I am the depression. Anyways, okay. What I'm saying is I think we're kind of getting to the point of why engineering improv exists. Now, the problem is, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of today, which is crazy. It's 40 minutes in. I have just been yapping. Also, for girls who work the night shift, literally, I can't. It's too good. I snorted like 2 night shift energies in January, and then I built a whole new inventory keeping system that saved us hundreds of hours. So I need to conjure all of the night shift energy in my soul and really just get to it today. It's going to be great. Anyways, okay. So assessing what worked. So looking at Offstars the Amber last year. Oh, where did I find this drink? Oh, I can tell you. The link is in the bio. I am biased because we make this at my primary client, Good Trade Depot. It is so freaking delicious. Also, it's physician formulated. So my guy is a ER doctor, and he made a hell of a drink. It is so tasty. My favorite's the blueberry. I think it goes blueberry and then the grapefruit and then the tea, personally. But the cool thing about this is he also does like powder mixes that you can put in like water, and then he's also got like a sleepy time formula. I haven't tried that out, but I will be trying it soon. The thing about me is I have no problem falling asleep. I'm a sleepy girl. I used to call it army naps, and I think that's what it's called. Like I could lay on the floor right there with my legs up, poof, asleep. I could just sleep on concrete. Like truly, I am a nap queen. But anyways, yes, I believe the link is in the bio. Otherwise, I think it's nightshiftenergy.com. And Good Trade Depot picks, packs, and fulfills it. So, yeah, it'll be coming directly from us. From me, to you. Okay. Oh, shit. Here we go. Okay, so of office hours with Amber, engineering improv. Improv to improve. Okay, again, these fonts are crazy. We need to chill out. There we go. Oh, that's just not quite there. We can't get stuck in the rabbit hole of fonts. There we go. Good enough. Okay. What worked? So we're going to separate these. Okay. So what is working is we can close this. We can zoom around. There we go. Let's bring that over here. So what is working for other things I like is not planning. Well, not planning is what works. What worked last year is learn sep- separating learning the concept versus doing the concept. I think has been hugely successful last year. And to lean back into my own value statements is I like being around people who inspire me. And I think this year I just am feeling a little alone. Getting feedback from respected perspectives. And that doubles back to the idea in accountability is whose perspective do you respect? So if I'm working on something sales related, I need to find someone who I deeply respect in sales. Like I would love to bring on my old sales coach and say, hey, here's some new updates. Give me feedback. Oh, thank you, Mom. As a viewer, she likes that. She likes that. Enjoy listening to your thought process. Thank you. My thought process really goes every which way, every 3 seconds. But I'm glad those who get it, we're here. We're here. We're locked in. The ADHD speaks to it. Okay. Getting feedback. Getting feedback from respected perspectives. This begs the question, where do I find new respected perspectives? So something I did yesterday, and this is a little strange, and I encourage everyone to do this. So if you have a little bit of time and autonomy, what you can do, crazy idea, you can just ask people to shadow them. Like, imagine back in high school, you would just ask like, hey, could I job shadow you? As an adult, why don't we do that more? Now, obviously, if you're working 9 to 5 and you're supposed to be in an office and you're, whatever, but even like you can schedule an hour with someone, you could just kind of cold call it. You could be like, hey, I really love your work. Could I just watch you work for an hour? Or like, hey, could I pick your brain about, learn something from you? You can just ask. So I messaged my girl Monica in the middle of the night, and I'm so sorry if she ever watches this. You're the real homie. But I messaged someone I respect very deeply here in the community, and I was like, hey, can I co-work with you sometime? You can just ask. And even just asking her that gave me, like my mom said, a little bit of wiggle room that made me feel a little bit more agency and autonomy over like, wait, yeah, I could just do anything. Why don't, like, when you think of cold calling and cold email and LinkedIn and all that stuff, you think of the perfect message and all this stuff. Your warm network, and this is actually something that Paula Gorman, she's got a group of fractional consultants, like a group, and she was talking about, what was she talking about? This was important. Shit. I completely forgot the plot. Yeah. Oh, warm network. Oh my gosh. I've never lost my train this hard. The warm network. We don't utilize our warm network nearly enough. And I even thought about it like, when have you ever asked one of your friends what they do for work? Think about your best friend. Have you ever seen their office? Are you curious what it looks like? I don't know. Maybe this is the week that you go, hey, could I just come have lunch with you and like look at your office? Hear about what you do. Like, I think that'd be, especially with where I'm at currently, like solo, I work from home, don't got a lot of projects right now. What is preventing me from just co-working with people I respect? Similarly, there's Ashley Cordish. She's a local businesswoman here in the Kalamazoo area. I just asked her, we've been getting coffees more recently. It's like, yeah, like just co-work with your friends. Because you're getting work done and it's exciting to hear their perspectives in their own industries. And like, and it's like, if I'm going to be, it might not lead to a sale immediately, but yes, Paula Gorman, she's great. If you want to watch her TikToks, she's got it. But yeah, your warm network is warmer than you think. And I think if someone was to ask me, hey, could I shadow with you for the day? Could we just chit chat about stuff? Like, you could just do that. I would be exhilarated for someone to be like, hey, I would just love to talk about work or like about your work or what you're working on or projects. Like, man, that's so cool. So I was like, wait, why can't I bestow that joy to someone else to just be like genuinely interested in their life, especially when we're spending so much time at work? Anyways, I digress. Okay, we have 10 minutes left. I'm going to get this done. Okay. Always interested. I just went on a tour of your dad's plant. There are so many changes. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Mom, what were the biggest changes that you saw? Or like, it has been quite a while since you've been there. Like, any cool stuff? So I think the idea of finding where do those respected perspectives live is interesting as well. Okay. The other thing is I liked like the relating the concept to a real deliverable to show on stream, I think is important. So, speaking of which, last week I started on DaVinci Resolve, and this week I'm trying to film more vertical, more slitters, and they're way bigger than. Whoa, that's interesting. That's crazy. I want, and of course it was muted, so the video is like pretty much useless. But what I did is last week, I started learning DaVinci Resolve in like the video making process so that I can make more videos to be able to do more things. So I got an SD card reader for my PC, and then I filmed a vertical video with this camera, and I loved the quality. It made me so excited. And I built a repeatable, reusable folder that is made into like in my DaVinci Resolve project. All the settings are set up. All I have to do is drop the file in, copy paste the format, and then it's infinitely repeatable just to be able to downscale a video from here down to my phone so that I can edit things on my phone, put it on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Because I was finding my phone quality wasn't great and this wasn't the right format to get here and it was too big and whatever, but I created that repeatable process earlier today. So that is something I wish I could show you, but it's muted, so it's really not worth it. But I took months of dread and consolidated it down to an hour and a half process. Girl, it really just shows, like, every time I like conquer a fear, it's like it was really just mile wide, inch deep, and it's just so trash. But okay, we're back on subject. But I do like being able to show you guys like what comes of it, and then that translate to being able to help speed up the process for others to do what I just did. That's my favorite part, is being able to take that process that I just took months and months and months and years to just toil over and be like so in my head about. And now I can say, here's the equipment, here's the software, here's exactly what I did, here's how I set it up, and here's how you can do it, because it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, what is the reason why these all... I don't exactly have the 100% why yet, but I'm going to keep exploring. The other thing is... having one concept seen all the way through. What's happening, what the antithesis, stuff. The direct opposite or total contrast of ideas. Okay, the antithesis of what's happening right now is I each week am starting something new and I never finish things. And so I think where I'm going to join forces, really what's not working right now, new concept each week leads to not completing anything. It's exciting, but each week I kind of always show up to the stream being like, oh, I wish I just had a little bit more time to do this thing. Girl, you do have more time. It's your damn live stream. You could do whatever you want. So, the key thing that I want to get out at the end of this is I'm going to continue this exercise, and I encourage you all to do this exercise with whatever the goal is you're working on, what is working, what has worked in the past, what isn't working, what hasn't worked in the past. And then derive some sort of not reimagined, but just more cohesive of what have we learned, a little hypothesis, a little scientific method. We are the human experiments. What's working for you? What's not? Make a plan, generally. And then we check in 3 months and be like, okay, here's the new plan. What's coming out of this really generally is in the next few days before next week, I'm going to have kind of like a morph of the 2 years. So what I want to do is at the beginning of each month, I'm going to still engineering improv roll for a new concept, but I'm going to take that first week to explore the concept. Unless it's like deliberately very easy, but I don't think anything I ever do is really that easy. It's going to be learning the concept, best practices. The next week is applying it to a real life work scenario. Week 3, I'm going to try to find respected perspective in the area. I have trouble, but I think it's going to be a good challenge for me to reach out to people that are in my network and say, hey, I'd love to talk to you about this thing. But anyway, so that's what's going to come out of today. I think there was a cohesive thought somewhere in the middle of there, but who could be sure? The other thing is if you are a lady or if you know a lady who works behind a computer, I'm building a digital makerspace called She's Got Projects. And if you could describe this lady as, oh, she's got projects, she'll probably fit right in. We're building it as kind of a skill sharing, learning and development, shared support system, finding more respected perspectives in these areas because I am an engineer and I am not a creative, but I want to be around creatives because then I'll be more creative. You know what I mean? So if you have a lady in your life that would be interested, comment or something and I will send you the link to the Discord. And over time, I'm excited to do webinars and trainings and stuff and amplify the female voice. Other than that, I had another thought. I'm going to keep working on... There was something else in my brain. God, it's so good. Yeah, I think the only mechanism that's different, or what I'm going to change, is I'm not 100% sure on bringing... I loved the community calls, but what I found with the community calls last year is that I got kind of beside myself on trying to become a group host for a live stream instead of being like what I get out of the community calls is being able to connect with people and hear perspectives. And 2 of my favorite live streams of all last year were the perfectionism and the accountability live streams that we did. And what I found is I was so kind of towards the end of the year, the community calls got kind of tough because I wasn't preparing properly for them. So I had kind of shitty questions to ask that weren't well thought out, and I felt like disrespectful of everyone's time. So I want to come up with some other 4th week activity. Otherwise, I'll probably just cycle through and it won't be lined up with the exact months, but I don't know. Some interesting concept. It would be interesting to do, I don't know. I'm trying not to, that was the only thing from last year that I just found. The other thing is I didn't realize that by week 3, when I was in, okay. We're ideating. What would happen is I would do the concept week, I would do the apply it to something week, and then I would have to have something ready for someone professional to review on the 15th day of the month, basically, the 16th day of the month. And so, of course, I would never have that really well put together. So it's almost like week 3 needs to be something else. And then week 4 is like, okay, here is the entire month of thoughts and work I've put in. Now give me feedback. Because what I found is I kept canceling or putting it off or having weird 4th week. The 3rd week was weird because I would come empty-handed and then not get the full benefit of it. So maybe the 3rd week becomes something else. Maybe it's like the continued execution of that task, or maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm going to ideate, but basically going back to the original format, but adding the function of not, instead of months ahead of time knowing exactly what's coming, I can say this month, here is the goal. And then completing stuff, because I'm so tired of opening projects and not closing them. I want to prove to myself that I can't, like, create the trust within myself. You can complete projects. So stop saying you can't, because you can. Because I can. Oh yeah, I should just do improv. Oh, honestly, for the third week, it would be, I do want a function to be able to show community projects of what people are doing and see cool inspiration. I'm gonna have to ideate on that. But anyways, thank you for listening to me yammer for 60 minutes. I truly never know when this is gonna go offline. So I bid you all the most fabulous of weeks. If you are in the middle of the spring crazy weather, I hope you stay safe and dry and happy. You know what? I need an outro. I'm going to add that to the list of good ideas, but anyways, I think at this point, you've got the message. So I will see you later. Goodbye.